Hi there, as usual it's me, just a voiceover, you're watching Review Machines, and this is the newest 2x2 ATV Motorbike Scout. What a wonderful weather we are having today. It's so foggy that it would be better to film a horror movie than a review. But I assure you, this bike is worth being reviewed. By the way, on our channel we have a collection of all possible 2x2 motorbikes, from old Rokon to this newest model. Today we will make all the hardest tests of this bike, so get comfortable my friends, it's time to begin, let's go! Actually, we already have made some reviews of the ATV Bike Scout, but it's the first time with 2x2 version. Let's begin the review from the whole look of the bike. I should say it looks quite reserved and serious. On the whole, I like it. Dim colors, matte tires, low frame, these features tell us it's a real off-roader. But the most interesting is how they made all-wheel drive system here. By the way, this solution is patented by the manufacturer. Let's look closer at it. There are only 3 chains here to provide 2x2 drive, unlike some analogs with 4 chains. The less chains, the better. Now we see the first chain, that drives both, an additional axle and rear wheel. The additional axle drives the second chain, that drives the steering gear. And finally the third chain, through the steering gear, drives the front wheel. It's really peculiar construction of all-wheel drive system, isn't it? A common drawback of all 2x2 bikes, it's a limited turning radius. That is why this bike is equipped with a mechanical gearbox with a reverse mode. There is a Chinese Kaio engine from a small quad. It's 140cc 4-stroke 10 HP with air cooling system and oil radiator. We have here one more peculiar feature, it's a unique suspension system. The frame is divided into 2 parts with the same weight that are connected with one axle. Then there is a single spring with a shock absorber. In this way it works both for front and rear part of the frame. And now a few words about other features. The mud tires, hydraulic brakes of the both wheels, big comfy seat, spacious front and rear trunks. The engine is equipped with both electric and kickstarter. Let's start the engine. It's so quiet. But let's have a ride. Certainly such a bike requires more exciting conditions to test it, and we'll go there. But now I want just to get the very first impressions. Actually, it feels almost like any other ATV bike. It's not so heavy, the seat is comfy, the gears are shifted without a clutch. As to the suspension, well, it seems to be working, but frankly speaking, it's not rather comfortable. Then it has a perfect traction even on wet ground, due to the mud tires and of course 2x2 drive. But this bike is designed for much more hardest routes, so let's move to more interesting tests. But before that, let's check the maximum speed. It's clear that it's not a sport bike. Nevertheless, it's interesting how fast the thing is. There are 3 forward ranges in the gearbox. And we managed to reach 44 km/h on the 3rd gear. Let's get back to our Sleepy Hollow. Now we're heading to the Rio Offroading. It's so foggy here that we could barely see the way. It's so easy to get lost in space here, and maybe even in time. We were greatly surprised to meet here cavalry in old-fashioned costumes. But let's get back to the practice. And speaking about the construction, I want again to mention a peculiar suspension system here. As I said, it's not rather comfortable, it's tough. But due to this solution, there are only 3 chains in system of 2x2 drive. Besides, such a solution should provide better reliability. But it's a matter of time, of course. Meantime, we're at the beginning of off-roading route. Let's spare a minute and lower the pressure in the wheels for better performance in dirt. And now we are moving in search of interesting tests for the bike. It goes without saying that this bike will be especially useful if you need to go off-roading quite often. If you are going to ride on asphalt for the most time, choose another rear-wheel drive bike. But in mud, swamps and sands, Scout is a game changer, definitely. Meantime, we reached the first interesting obstacle. Even quad ATVs prefer to go around this puddle. Let's try and practice our 2x2 drive. Easy. Let's make this test more interesting. Now we are trying to get out from the puddle on a steep bank. The front-wheel drive is definitely a game changer here. It would be impossible to do that on a rear drive bike. Let's move on. Speaking about the advantages of such bikes. Firstly, it's compact as any bike, so we are able to move among the trees. That is impossible on any other type of ATVs. Together with 2x2 drive, it makes our bike be a very serious off-roader. For example, now we are watching this bike easily getting over the fallen trees. By the way, the frame of the bike is rather low. That was done on purpose. As a result, a rider can easily control his movement with his legs. Another advantage is that it's a 2-seats bike. It's a seldom feature for 2x2 analogs, so if you need, you may take a passenger with you. In this episode, we found a deep puddle with swampy bottom. It's easy to get stuck here, even on a quad. Let's try to get it over. It seems Scout proved to be very efficient off-roading bike. Such a performance results also from a light weight. Its weight is 120 kilos, like a regular enduro bike. That is why its off-roading abilities may compete with serious quads or other ATVs. In fact, our off-roading abilities are limited only by air intake. It's under the seat, and it's better not to plunge it underwater. By the way, as we remember, there is a reverse mode. That is a rare feature for the light bike, but very useful for any off-roader. meantime, we reached the hardest place of our route. Let's watch our Scout getting it over. And finally we have only one question to mention – the price. And it costs about $2,000. That is way cheaper than Rokon, for example. Well, let's call it a day, my friends. Thanks for having a ride with us. Please post your comments what you think of this bike. Consider subscribing the channel if you like this video. Stay with us, there will be many more interesting materials here. Bye.